the surface where she could potentially get harpooned by fishermen, she would swim up and gawk at the humans on boats. She would later in life realize her father was completely reasonable and doing his best to deal with a rebellious teenager. She became particularly taken with one sailor, who was predictably a prince. After following the prince's boat around for a few nights and acting like a total groupie, she made the choice. She wanted to go on land permanently. She wanted to become a human and make out with the hot sailor prince. The mermaid set out to find the sea witch, who supported her expensive micro-scale abrasion habit by securing realistic-looking fake IDs and casting magical spells for desperate mermen. "I want to become a human," the mermaid said to the sea witch. "I want legs. I want platform sandals. I want that hot sailor ass." "My dear, sweet teeny bopper mermaid, that's what I do," said the sea witch. "I live to help impulsive, unfortunate, hormonal merfolk. In exchange for my services, I'll need something in return. Don't worry, I don't want your allowance. What I want is just a trifle. Your voice. Also, you can never come back." The mermaid didn't use her voice much under the sea anyway, since most sea creatures were highly evolved and communicated by jamming on shell drums. Plus, she could always write the prince a note if she needed to tell him something. Leaving her family on the other fin was a big deal. But sometimes when you're crushing hard, you don't think too straight and you do stupid shit. "I'm in," said the mermaid. And with that, she signed the contract. It immediately turned into a soggy, inky mess since paper doesn't do well underwater. The mermaid closed her eyes and waited nervously for the transformation to begin. She waited, and she waited, but nothing happened. She peeked out of one eye. How long does this legs thing take?" she asked the sea witch. The sea witch took a deep breath. "Actually, we need to discuss something first." "Is it about my legs?" asked the mermaid. "Kind of. I have to give you the talk. You see, along with the legs, you also get a vagina." The mermaid was confused. "A vagina, mabob?" "It's just called a vagina." The mermaid didn't want any extra stuff with this deal. She had only requested the legs, after all. "I only want legs, thanks," said the mermaid, swimming over to the sea witch so hopefully she would get a move on with this leg spell already. "There's no workaround. I've tried before. Peeing out of the mouth was very gross." "Let's just get to the legs. I'm sure I can figure out my vagina on my own," she said rather impatiently. "Listen, sweetie, vaginas are complicated. I'm not going to let you walk away with a pussy you don't know how to use." The mermaid looked at the sea witch. Was this some sort of trick? Sure, she pretty much trusted the sea witch, or else she wouldn't have come to her in the first place. But she had heard a rumor about a time the sea witch turned a merman requesting hair plugs into a catfish. "Why are you being nice to me? Aren't you evil?" asked the mermaid. "Here's the thing. I'm a sea witch who looks out for myself. But we're both still fighting the mermantriarchy, right? So as they say on land, girl code." The sea witch patted a rock nearby, gesturing for the mermaid to sit down for the talk. "First things first, periods," said the sea witch, holding up a red piece of sea anemone as a prop. "Once a month, your vagina will bleed for about a week." "Is it injured?" asked the mermaid. "Nope, that's normal and perfectly healthy. It will be extremely painful, and it will happen until you're about 50. The sea witch quietly snickered to herself. The mermaid began to have second thoughts. If I had known a vagina was part of the deal, I would have thought this through a little harder. "But remember, with legs you can walk and run and do squats," said the sea witch. Ooh, squats, so fun. The mermaid got up from the rock and tried to do a squat, only to discover you can't do squats with a tail.